Your cat has been judging you since the moment you met. Not out of cruelty, out of survival. And right now, there are rules your cat expects you to follow that you've probably been breaking every single day without knowing it. By the end of this video, you'll understand why. Your cat does things that seem completely random, and you'll never look at them the same way again. Stay until the very last rule, because where your cat chooses to sleep tonight is the most honest thing they will ever tell you about how they truly feel about you. Welcome to our place. If you're new here, hit subscribe right now, because this is exactly the kind of thing we talk about. Let's start with the one that shocks almost every cat owner when they hear it. 1. You pick up your cat. Your friends pick up your cat. Your kids pick up your cat. And your cat hangs there, maybe even purring a little. And you think they love it? They tolerate it because they love me. But here's the truth that most owners never find out. Cats do not pick each other up ever. Not once in the entire history of their species. That movement being lifted off the ground, restrained against another body, in cat language means one single thing: loss of control. When you scoop your cat up and hold them against you, your cat's nervous system reads it as being captured. Studies that analyze the body language of cats being held by their owners found that a significant proportion showed classic stress signals: tail tucked or thrashing ears, flattened or rotated back, body tense and rigid eyes dilated. These are not signs of contentment. These are signs of a cat tolerating something. They cannot escape. Your cat isn't enjoying being picked up. They're enduring it because they love you enough to tolerate something. That makes them deeply uncomfortable. The real way to show physical affection to a cat is completely different. Sit down at their level. Let them initiate the contact. Scratch under the chin, along the cheeks, at the base of the ears. Places they actually choose to have touched. Places where their scent glands are. That's the physical language they understand. And keep this in mind as we move forward, because Rule 6 at the end of this video will completely reframe everything you just learned about how your cat communicates. Trust you don't want to skip it. 2. Your cat scratched the couch, knocked the glass off the counter, left a hairball on the rug. You come home, you see it, and you call them over. Or maybe they come slinking towards you with those wide eyes and that lowered body, and you correct them. You raise your voice, you point at the mess. You make sure they know what they did was wrong. Except they have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. This is one of the most painful truths in cat behavior, because it means every time you've done this, you weren't teaching your cat a lesson. You were just frightening them with no explanation. Here's why. A cat's ability to connect the consequence to a behavior has a window of roughly 1 to 2 seconds. That's not a metaphor. That's the biological reality of how the feline brain processes cause and effect. Anything beyond that window, anything that happens minutes or hours after the behavior, arrives in your cat's mind as a completely random event. They cannot trace it back. So when you come home to a shredded armchair and your cat disappears under the bed, what you're actually seeing is not guilt. Feline behavior researchers have documented that cats do not experience guilt in the human sense of moral awareness. That look of avoidance is a response to your energy, your body language and tone of voice. Your cat is reacting to you being upset. They have no idea why. And the damage goes further than just that moment. Cats who are regularly punished after the fact don't learn to stop the behavior. They learn that your arrival home is unpredictable and potentially frightening. Over time, that erodes the foundation of your entire relationship. The rule is real-time redirection. Catch the behavior in the moment. Within those 2 seconds, redirect it and provide an acceptable alternative. Scratching post instead of couch. Cat tree instead of counter. That's the only version of discipline your cat's brain can actually process. There are still 4 more rules to cover. And the one about eye contact is going to completely change the way you look at your cat. Literally keep watching. 3. You're having guests over. Someone new walks in and spots your cat. They crouch down, hand extended, making kissy sounds. And your cat freezes, backs away, hides behind the couch. And you say it's okay, they're friendly, and you let the person keep trying. Or you pick your cat up and bring them over. You meant well. Almost every owner does in this situation. But what just happened in your cat's mind is something very different. Cats, like humans, exist on a wide spectrum of social comfort. Some cats are confident ambassadors who want to greet every visitor. Others are deeply private, easily overstimulated, and genuinely uncomfortable with forced social contact. Neither is wrong, neither is broken. They're just different. When you force a cat past their comfort threshold, when you push them into an interaction their body language is clearly saying no to, you do 2 damaging things simultaneously. First, you ignore the signals they were sending you, which teaches them that their communication doesn't work. Second, you put them in a situation where they have no safe exit, which dramatically increases the chance they'll feel the need to escalate. A hiss, a swat, a bite just to make the threat stop. Research on feline stress responses has documented that cats who are frequently forced into unwanted social interactions develop significantly higher rates of anxiety-related behaviors, including hiding and aggression, compared to cats whose social boundaries were respected. The signs your cat is uncomfortable are always there. A stiff body, a twitching or tucked tail, ears flattened or rotating back, crouching low, trying to make themselves small, dilated pupils. Those aren't random behaviors. Those are your cat speaking to you in the only language they have. The rule here is to advocate for your cat. You are the only one in their life who can do that. When your cat says, "I don't want this," your job is to honor that, not override it. Tell your guest the cat is shy. Let them approach on their own timeline. If they never do, that's fine too. Social confidence in cats grows through positive exposure at the cat's own pace, not through being shoved into interactions before they're ready. Stay with us, because Rule 4 is one that most owners violate several times a day and have no idea how deeply it affects their cat's sense of security. 4. You don't let your cat on the counter. Except when you're cooking something they love. And it's cute. You don't let them wake you up at 5 a.m. Except when you can't sleep anyway. And you give in. You never let them bite your fingers. Except when they're being playful. And it doesn't really hurt. This feels harmless, flexible, even loving. But your cat is not experiencing flexibility. They're experiencing a world that makes no logical sense. Cats are pattern recognition machines. They don't understand that. Rules can have exceptions based on your mood or the time of day. What they understand is consistency. Consistency is not just a preference for cats. It is literally how they learn to predict their territory. And being able to predict their territory is what makes them feel secure when the rules shift. When sometimes jumping on the counter gets a laugh, and sometimes it gets sprayed with water. Your cat enters a state of chronic low-level stress. They're not being stubborn or defiant when they keep doing the thing. They genuinely cannot establish a stable pattern because the pattern keeps changing. Every interaction becomes a guessing game. And guessing games are stressful for animals whose sense of security depends on knowing. What comes next? Research on feline behavior consistently shows that inconsistent responses from owners produce confused, anxious cats who test boundaries more frequently, not less, because the unpredictability makes them compulsively keep checking. The rule is simple but demanding. Decide what the rules are. Make sure everyone in your household follows them the same way, and hold to them even when it's inconvenient. That consistency isn't rigidity. It's the clearest way your cat has of knowing that their territory makes sense. We have 2 more rules left. And the final one, where your cat sleeps, is the moment everything in this video comes together. But first, Rule 5 might be the most misunderstood signal in the entire human-cat relationship. 5. Look at your cat right now. If they're in the room, hold their gaze. Don't look away. What did they do? Most people have no idea what that response means. They assume their cat is just aloof or bored, or doesn't care. But what's actually happening is something your cat has been communicating to you since the very first day you met them. In feline social language, prolonged, direct eye contact is not a bonding behavior. It is a confrontational one. When 2 unfamiliar cats encounter each other, and one holds a hard, unblinking stare, every other cat in the vicinity reads that as a potential threat signal, a challenge that has to be either met or avoided. That's not a personality quirk. That's ancient, hardwired survival instinct. Your cat has transferred that instinct directly onto their relationship with you. When you hold a hard stare, even with completely loving intentions, your cat's nervous system responds to it the same way it would respond to a challenge from another cat. The signal is the same. The biological response is the same. Feline behavior research has documented that cats who are subjected to direct, prolonged eye contact from humans show measurable signs of discomfort, looking away, flattened ears, leaving the room, compared to cats who are approached with soft gazes and slow blinks. Now, there is an important distinction to make here. soft eye contact, a gentle, unfocused gaze with relaxed facial muscles, followed by a slow blink, is actually a profound bonding behavior. The slow blink in cats has been studied extensively and is widely recognized as a cat's way of saying, "I trust you. I am not a threat." And when you slow blink back, you're speaking their language. But the key word is soft, slow, deliberate. The moment it becomes a fixed, hard, unblinking stare, the meaning changes entirely. The rule is when you look at your cat, let your gaze be soft and your body relaxed. Give them a slow blink. Look away first. In their language, looking away first is not rudeness. It's the equivalent of saying, "I trust you. I don't need to watch you." And now the moment. This entire video has been building toward 6. You've been paying attention. You've been learning the rules. Your cat expects you to follow. You've started to understand that. Your cat is communicating all day long through signals. You've probably been walking right past, and now here's the thing. No one tells you all of those signals, every single choice your cat makes throughout the day, they all compress into one single moment, one location, the place your cat chooses to sleep. This is the most unguarded, most honest thing your cat will ever do. When they're asleep, there's no performance. There's no managing of emotions or suppressing of instincts. Where they choose to be, when their guard is completely down, that is the truth of how they feel about you. A cat who sleeps pressed against your body, curled in the curve of your legs, on your pillow, next to your head, tucked into your side, is making a statement. They are placing themselves at their most physically vulnerable, in their deepest state of unconsciousness, right next to you. That is not casual. That is the highest form of trust. A cat is capable of extending to another living thing. Cats are both predator and prey, and their sleep locations in the wild are chosen with extreme care. Choosing to sleep, touching you, means you are their safe territory, their secure base, their person. A cat who sleeps in the same room but not touching, on the cat tree in the corner, on the back of the couch, still trusts you, but they're maintaining a small buffer. This is common in cats who are naturally independent, or cats who run warm and just sleep better with a little space. It's also common in cats who are still in the process of building confidence in the relationship. It doesn't mean anything is broken. It means the trust is solid but still growing. A cat who consistently chooses to sleep in a completely different room, behind a closed door, under the bed, in a closet far from where you sleep, is worth paying attention to. That distance is intentional, and it can often be traced back to one or more of the rules we talked about in this video. Not because they don't love you, but because something in the daily pattern of your relationship is making them feel like they need a buffer between themselves. And even the possibility of stress. The remarkable thing is, none of it is permanent. Every single day is a new chance. Every slow blink, every boundary respected, every consistent rule, every quiet moment when you let them come to you. It all goes into an account. your cat is keeping without ever consciously knowing it. And when that account fills up the distance, shrinks, they move closer. And one night, you'll wake up and find them right there next to you. A warm weight against your side. And you'll know that they trust you completely. Now you know the rules. The question is, which ones have you been breaking? If this changed the way you see your cat, share it with someone who loves their cat, but doesn't know what their cat is. Really trying to tell them